Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews. I said a few days ago that I would be reading from a thing here that about the dangers of entertainment must reflect our reality. I have written out, and I'm going to read it all the way through, of why this sort of idea is not smart. In fact, it is dangerous and it is divisive. So I'm going to read through this and give my thoughts on it. This is something that I myself wrote. So the newest agenda, entertainment must reflect our reality, and why this is not only wrong, but divisive and potentially dangerous. The introduction to overt identity politics and political agenda in our entertainment over the last 7 years, where identity politics and politics in general have become more polarizing and overt, and has driven a wedge between general moviegoers and passionate fans of franchises. Where once entertainment was for everyone, now Hollywood and its studios are trying to make it only for select groups. There has been an overt amount of racial swapping of characters, disrespect to demographics, and gender bias in entertainment lately that many people have turned away from television and movies altogether. And some have sought a balance and created their own entertainment in comics, television, and even movies. Excuse me. One or a few examples of people who are making comics or alternative entertainment for comics would be Mandy Summers, Ethan Van Sciver. These are YouTube personalities as well. Movies and television, The Daily Wire is making an alternate entertainment venue. But with the rise of interest groups and Hollywood celebrities becoming more political and outspoken in order to pander and virtue signal to these minority groups, entertainment has lost the essential balance it once had. While it has had organic diversity and inclusivity for over 100 years in entertainment, now these interest groups are calling for not just equal representation, but outright full-on representation that excludes those not a part of their demographics. I am, of course, speaking of the loudest LGBTQ plus groups and persons of color groups that have complained over and over and threatened boycotts and smearing practices, where they are using bullying tactics and arouse public opinion to be used as a hammer to get what they want. And their constant victim card usage is unfortunately working for them. I have seen several groups, all you have to do is simple internet searches, where they are saying out loud, we want this to be the new normal. We want to push out what used to be normal and make this the new normal without that at all. How is that inclusive? Over the past 7 years, we have seen white characters race swapped instead of original POC characters who already exist kept in obscurity, or having POC characters created so that they can have their representation. We have seen redheaded characters or white people with red hair be replaced as black characters. And I'm not just talking one or two, folks. I am talking dozens and dozens, almost over 100, if not already over 100, different characters in entertainment who were known to have red hair and be white. They have been race swapped to be black. And while there are folks out there who will joke that, oh, gingers have no souls, so who cares? A joke that has run its course to the point where it is starting to be taken literally in Hollywood. And the entertainment world has not stopped at fictional characters either. We've seen the show over in Britain where they took one of their most historically famous queens and made her black. We have seen the Viking show on Netflix, the latest one that they have, take a Jarl, a noble or Viking noble or Norse noble who was white, and make him, in history, a historical figure, female and black. All for the purpose of identity politics reasons, so that they can reflect our reality today, when these are historical times that they are trying to tell. And it's all for the sake of reflecting our reality, as I just said. People have become so focused on skin color, sexuality, political correctness, that they have forgotten the original purpose of entertainment, escapism. To escape to a fantasy where you can be anything you want, where you can identify on some level with a superhero, not just skin color or sexuality, but by morals, personal philosophy, life experience. Movies are becoming so political and identity political that they are pushing viewers away. And when the ratings go down for shows because of how divisive they have become, what do these companies do? Well, we're the ones who decided to push them away, but now that we're losing money, we're going to label these people as racist, homophobic, transphobic, or other derogatories simply for not wanting to be preached at while trying to escape the stresses of the real world. Franchises were once embraced by a huge fandom. They've been shattered and divided because of these problems. And those who, with influence, are pushing false narratives to justify making these franchises something they never were meant to be. Movies and TV shows were never meant to reflect our reality. They were meant to surpass our reality, to be above it, to give us something to strive toward, not divide us further. And while there are people who will go on to say, who cares? If it's good, it's good. Well, that's subjective, sure. And it is a common excuse used by people who don't want to realize that these franchises are important to so many of us and on so many more levels that they themselves don't want to admit. Oh, it's just a fictional story. Who cares? We do. We care. Those of us who have put our time, money, and support behind these franchises only to be told that they are no longer meant for us. That we are toxic by newer fans who, when the truth is, are not really fans at all, but activists who want to feel special. Because when it comes to putting their money, time, and support behind what they are championing, they end up not doing so, and that is why these shows fail. Look at Batwoman on the CW. That show had 1.75 million viewers when it started. Their viewers' ratings are now under 500,000 in their third, or going into a third season. All because they wanted to inject identity politics and narrative or political narratives in that show. All for the sake of reflecting our reality, which in this case is a false reality. This is why pandering and the virtue signaling to minorities of minorities of minorities is not the wisest course. Folks, when you are pushing out the largest moneymaker of your franchises, when you are saying that they no longer matter, you have no right to complain when they are not getting better, when they are actually losing in quality and money and returns. This is why you do not want our reality to be reflected in entertainment, because right now our reality sucks. We are so divided because of things like skin color and racial differences and these petty, foolish differences that I don't want that reflected in our entertainment. I want to be shown a world where everybody is together without looking at skin color or sexual identity or gender politics or any of that? Why can't we go back to that when it was more prevalent, when there wasn't shows and TV or in movies that say, oh, poor me, I'm a black person that's trying to be a superhero, but everybody doesn't want me to be a superhero because I'm black. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm looking at you. That was never the case in the comics until they made it like that in the comics later on over the past 7 years. This is the problem of making entertainment reflect our reality. We lose escapism. And that is all the more important now than it has been over the many, many years that centuries, that entertainment has been a part of our lives. Centuries, when I say, doesn't include television, it includes theater. Shakespeare knew that people needed an escape, so he told these stories. And he was also a very inclusive person. He had women in a time where women were not allowed to be a part of society at that level. He had women in his plays. And all throughout, it had only become more practical. But because people don't want to acknowledge this, they would rather play victim. And that has led to a decline in escapism as well as quality of entertainment. It is time that we eventually start standing up and fighting against this. Otherwise, it's only going to keep getting worse, and entertainment is going to no longer be entertaining. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. I wanted to address this, and I think that it is very important that this video be shared as widely as possible. Because, honestly, organic diversity is the best way to go. Black people, white people, homosexual, other, including heterosexual. Have all of it in entertainment, but don't make it preaching. Don't make it reflect our reality by showing us the ugliness of it. Show us what we can strive toward, what we can eventually hope to attain. That's what we should be doing. Because that's what we once did in entertainment. Anyway, folks, that is going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video out. Because it is more important than ever. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. What do you think? Do you think that entertainment should entertain everyone? Or do you think it should entertain just those select few? Let me know all your thoughts, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.